concussions are a big problem.
They certainly are, especially in football. It's a violent sport. Concussions are common, and they can have long-term effects on players.
There are some really damaging side effects of a concussion that's followed up by a second concussion, and there can be brain damage from repeated concussions because that's when you get that brain swelling that's going on. But depression is one of the biggest concerns psychologically.
Despite the concern over concussions, parents at these two schools say the teams have taken the necessary precautions to ensure player safety.
One thing that Central has done this year is they actually invested in caps that go over the top of their helmets, and they wear those during the week, and the data shows that they reduce concussions by about 30%. I know in years past we've had a lot of kids with concussions. This year I can't even think of one.
I do feel it's safe. The coaches are trained. If they notice something that looks like a concussion, kids are taken off the field. They're not allowed to come back until they pass the concussion test.
A former youth football coach believes the most important thing is to teach the right way to tackle from the very beginning.
And again, I think it just goes back to us as parents and us as youth coaches and stuff like that. If we stress the fundamentals at the very beginning, I think that cuts down on injuries quite a bit.
Even with the injury concern, football still has the highest participation numbers across the country. In Everett, Isaac Moore, WBN.
The old adage is freedom isn't free. Somebody paid for what you people have here today.
This is more than a parade. It's a message.
I think it's important that we don't just use it as a chance to get a long holiday, a long 3-day weekend. For me, it's just about honoring every veteran that served.
Just to keep the message going. There's a lot of people out there who are not here now because they gave their lives to this country.
That's the very message that drives the Veterans for Peace.
Anybody can kill anybody. People have to learn that communication is more important.
It's reminding people we're at war. Why are we at war? When can we stop being at war?
The problem is that their voices are coming from the back of the bus.
We're not allowed to walk with the veterans. We have to walk a mile behind. So we've always been sort of like Rosa Parks. We're at the back.
Every year when we march in the Veterans Day Parade, our group is after the sweepers and sort of, bringing up the rear. And so it reminds me that peace is sort of still a dirty word, that peace is still a controversial word for people. So one reason I feel we march is to remind people that peace is actually a good thing.
Thanks, Charlie. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but the last few leaves are falling outside as autumn exits. Winter begins, and with winter comes playoff football. 7 games, only 7 games left until the postseason. The New England Patriots traveled to Carolina on Monday night for a battle against the red-hot Panthers. Coming off the bye, Tom Brady and the young Pats offense look to get a win on the road as they begin the final stretch. Tom Brady and the Pats taking on Cam Newton in Carolina. Pick it up in the second Pats in scoring position, but Stephen Ridley coughs up the football. That's his 3rd fumble on the year. Big mistake for New England. Ensuing drive, Cam Newton escapes the pressure and picks up 24 yards and the first down. Big game for Cam. He ended with 62 rushing yards and 3 passing touchdowns. Fourth quarter now, Ridley gets a chance to redeem himself with the touchdown. Pats would tack on a field goal later in the quarter to take the lead, but Cam Newton puts on his Superman coat and drives Carolina 83 yards in 5 minutes. Ted Ginn with the touchdown to end the drive. But a minute remaining, and it's not over yet. Last play of the game, Brady drops back and targets Rob Gronkowski in the back of the end zone. Throws a little low, though, and it's picked off. But wait, there's a flag. Gronk appears to be held by Luke Kuechly on the play. Ultimately, refs would pick up the flag, and the game would end in controversy. I don't know. It looks a lot like pass interference to me, guys. Anyways, Panthers would go on to win 24-20. Despite the controversy, Brady gave no excuses after the game. Believe it or not, there were 2 Boston games played in Carolina last night. About 150 miles east of the Pats game in Charlotte, the Bruins took on the Hurricanes. With Tampa Bay off last night, the Bruins looked to pull within 1 point of the Lightning for first place in the Atlantic Division.
The transition from getting clean from drugs is it's scary. Once you're an addict, you're never the same again. And while you're getting clean, you go have these emotions that come up and down. One day you're feeling good, next day you're feeling bad. I battled it, I fought it. I asked God for help. I asked him to get me to lose this addiction behavior. I started doing drugs at 13 years old, you know, kind of just like being young and just wanting that fast-paced life. Next thing you know, I was addicted, and you know, I was 25 years old, still on drugs. I went to jail for my last time. I was just in there and just thinking about life and just having my old father come up there and visit me and not feeling good about it, you know, and just being like, you know, what am I doing? When I was in jail my last time, I started rapping. Hip hop to me is just is a message. The music behind it is what you actually feel. You know, and my music reflects what I go through in my life. So one of the things I did when I got out of jail is that I started rapping. I found rap music, you know what I'm saying? I found hip hop, you know, that I love my whole life. I found that, and I put that energy into it, you know what I mean? That was my drug. It's still my drug. I keep doing it more and more because, like, I have something to offer to people. You know, if I have a chance to meet them and stuff, like, I could change lives. And that's basically what keeps me going every day right now.
Good wages, regular paychecks, good health care, good benefits.
Karen Spilka is a fighter. Now she wants to fight for the middle class.
It's personal to me. It's not just another issue. I grew up in a very dysfunctional family. I learned how to function in dysfunction, and what place is more dysfunctional than Congress right now?
Spilka grew up in a family of 6. Her dad had a major mental illness, and her sister has Down syndrome.
Amidst all of that dysfunction, I learned how to be a fighter. So I also know how hard it can be sometimes for families when things happen that you have no control over.
Spilka wants to help middle-class families by increasing minimum wage and improving education. That's something her supporters say she's already accomplished as a state senator.
She's always done the right thing up in Beacon Hill for the middle class. Health insurance, fair wages, OSHA standards. That's what it's all about. She's done a lot for us.
I have a track record of getting results right here in Massachusetts, fighting for working families, and that to me is the best indication of how well somebody will do in Congress.
Senator Spilka wants to move from here to the Capitol building in Washington. She's going to need more support. In a recent poll, she came in 4th place behind Catherine Clark, William Brownsberger, and Carl Scorchino. In Boston, Isaac Moore, WEBN News.
Program for today's game, $1 folks.
Here at opening day, Red Sox fans aren't the only ones excited for the start of baseball season. For the many vendors around Fenway Park, it's more than just a busy time of year. It's their livelihood.
It basically is our business. Opening day is the biggest day of the year. It pays all of our bills. This is our income. The better they are, the more money we make, and that's our business.
Boston Beer Works general manager Kyle Caracino agrees that the Sox success is good for business, but it doesn't necessarily affect the restaurants as much as it does the vendors.
Happy fans are happy customers, so that's always good. It's always good when the Red Sox win. If fans know that the Sox aren't going to make it to the playoffs, they're a little bit less enthusiastic, but we stay pretty much busy win or lose.
As a restaurant that doubles as a microbrewery, Boston Beer Works must brew months in advance in order to prepare for the added traffic of baseball season.
We start to prepare. Our watermelon ale will come out sometime in late June, early July. So that's the next huge staple for us that we have to brew a ton of to be prepared for the volume of Red Sox season.
For restaurant owners and vendors around Fenway Park, this formula is simple. The more the Red Sox win, the hungrier people are. And the hungrier people are, the more they're going to eat.